Let's go ahead and open our meeting. We're going to start with a roll call of council members. Council Lady Nancy Townley, Council Lady Karen Kalajic.
Here.
Councilman Skylar Henricks is absent tonight. Council Member Billy Henricks.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum. Let's stand and do our Pledge of Allegiance, and then if you'll remain standing, Dr. Brazier is going to lead us in prayer. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, you bow your heads. Our most graciously Heavenly Father, we just want to say thank you for our community, Lord. We are so blessed to live in such a beautiful town. Lord, we just pray for us as a community, our citizens, our council, Lord. We just pray, Lord, that we can all come together, we can work together to move our community forward and maximize our community's potential and improve the quality of life for everyone that lives here, Lord. And just bless our council, just guide them tonight as they make decisions, and pray they'll make decisions that are best for our community. Guide them, protect us, and forgive us. And we thank you for all our many blessings. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Okay. We have Dr. Brazier here tonight. We have Ms. Lauren Bush. I don't see any policemen here tonight, but maybe they're coming in a little later. Maybe we don't need them. Hopefully. Let's see. Where am I at? I'm looking at the wrong. I'm at the wrong thing here. Here we go. Here we go. I got it now. Okay. Announcements. Mayor Pro Tem Billy Henricks, do you have any announcements for us tonight? Okay. Just wanted to start. I had several things to kind of encourage people. It's extremely hot out there. I'm hoping, I think we've got a few more days of this. So I appreciate the folks that are here tonight that came out. It would have been easy to stay home, but I appreciate you coming out here tonight and braving the high hot temperatures. Wanted to mention that we got a little good news this past week or two. We got a water well approved kind of in the northeast part of town on 422 as you're leaving town. TCEQ approved it. We're going to start, I think we're going to start ordering pipe and connect it up to the RO plant, and give us another source of water, which is basically, it's the same aquifer, you know, and that kind of thing, but it's not connected with this well field out here. So our engineers tell us it's better to rotate your locations on your well. So we got approval on that. It should be a good well, and hopefully that'll be tied in within a few months or sooner. There is we're also working on our brown water. We've been working with, visited with some of our engineers and with our water department, and we're going to hopefully test some water valves in some of these areas that we have problems in, and see if that'll help clear up those problems. I visited with administration, and we don't want to just sit and do nothing. If I had brown water, I would be upset, and so we are attempting to remedy those situations as best we can with some of our infrastructure 100 years old. So we're seeking grants to replace pipe in the ground, but until then, this could be hopefully a solution to some of those situations around town. There's 4 or 5 areas of town that seem to have that problem, so we're trying to address that. I might mention that on our agenda tonight, there's something involving McCord Engineering. They're not related to me. None of us smart enough to be an engineer. So it's a company from College Station, and I've met one of the representatives, but we're not related. My family's not related to them in any way. So I guess that's about it. I guess we'll proceed on. Let's see, that was comments. What about citizens' comments? Do you have those?
Okay, we have Miss Kim Stevenson is here tonight with Seymour Helping Hands, and she would like to address the council on rate increase on electricity.
Kim, if you will turn that on and speak directly, pull it out of the holder if you want to, if it's easier to speak into. I know you can, but let's give it a try.
Okay. I've got old people eyes, so y'all bear with me. I got to switch them out. I look weird having two pair on, but everybody's used to it by now. First off, thank y'all for letting me speak. I'm not here as part of Seymour Helping Hands. I'm here as a member of the community. I get my electricity from the city of Seymour, and I have to say thank you for a few things before I get into that. First off, thank you, Lauren, for years ago asking me to put that on average billing, because I would have had a $700 electric bill this month if I wasn't on average billing. Now, I may hate paying $398 a month, especially during the wintertime, but during the summertime, when I've got friends and neighbors that are paying $800, $900 bills, mine's a lot cheaper. We are encouraging people to get average billing, but not everybody's going to listen to that. And we've got a lot of people here that have those $800, $900 bills. I don't know who all it is. Only the people from the city would know that. The city has done a lot of improvements. We're seeing demolishing of old houses, the cleaning of lots, and a lot more transparency online and trying to get the information out to those people. So thank y'all for that. However, there is the need for alignment, or maybe two. I know that talk has been recently that y'all lost alignment, so I understand having to replace him and gather another one, because storms come up and y'all need somebody out there. And our guys are great about getting electricity back on. The problem is that your average income in Seymour is $40,000 for a family household. We've got around 2,500 people in Seymour, and 30% or more are at the poverty level. I know when you look at the numbers and you go, though, these are just 0.0003%, it's not a big deal. But it's not just percents, it's people, it's dollars. Yes, it adds $3 onto a bill a month, not a big deal. But when you have a little old lady that she's got a medication she has to have and it's $3, now she's got to make a life-changing decision. When you have somebody who can barely feed their family, who have very little, to do, at $3 it's a loaf of bread, it's a deal of meat. The thing that I want you to think about before you guys ever make a decision is the people. At the start of the year, whether we like it or not, the grid is going to cost us more money because the changes and upgrades they need to do the grid. Now, that's nothing you council members can even do anything about. That money and that need is going to get passed on to the Seymour community, whether anybody likes it or not, and you guys are going to get blamed for it. That's just going to be how it is. It's a statewide thing. That grid went down. 2021, we had the ice storm. Well, if I understood right what I read, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, almost every county had to pay $1 million toward the grid because of that ice storm. Seymour had to take out a loan, if I understood right what I read, and we still owe over $700-something thousand on that loan. It's not due till like 2031. So we're still paying on that. Now, I listened to, I believe it was the June meeting, and you guys said we had.
That's 3 minutes. Go another 30 or 45 seconds.
Okay, y'all said we had a few $1 million in the coffers. My request is that y'all consider using that for the money to do this percentage, because if the percentage is not that much, it shouldn't hurt us that bad. And let us understand, and y'all educate us on why at the start of the year that rate is still going to go up, but make sure people know it's not the city's fault and that y'all are trying to help with what we got. We're drowning. I've been unemployed since May. Other people in town are working and they're not able to make their bills. So I ask you not to give us even a percentage more. That's all.
Kim, that's real good. Thank you. We hear you. Anybody, you got somebody else? Okay, we'll have agenda items here in a little while, and if you want to speak on those, they can speak on those. Okay. City administrator reports, Dr. Brazier.
Okay, the mayor's covered a few things I was going to talk about, but I think it is important to talk just for a moment about Atmos. everybody sees all the construction going on all over town and what a disruption it is, and the damage it's doing to our roads and also to our alleys. But in conversations I've had with Atmos, and we're starting to meet regularly to follow up on some of these issues, and they do seem fully committed to repairing and making sure that our alleys and our roads are repaired as they were. And so I just want the community to know that we are working on that one. We're staying on top of it. And Atmos is putting the best foot forward and presenting themselves as great partners so far, and they have been following up. All of our departments are running smoothly. We do have 2 openings in the electric department, and so we need to really make sure that we pat John and Mr. Hans on the back, because they're carrying the load, and it's hot, and they're out there working a lot. So they need our support and our encouragement, as all of our departments do, but they are down. Also, I'm super excited. If y'all have noticed, our street department has been busy doing some chip and sealing. We finally got our emulsion tank set up and ordered the oil, and so you will see them around town. So please drive cautiously when you see our street department. But we are excited that we are, again, being proactive, and we are starting to repair a lot of our roads. We did start up there on the hill. That road was in pretty bad shape because it's so heavily trafficked, and they smoothed it up, and then they chip and sealed it. And tomorrow they'll be finishing up a stretch, and we hope we can do more as more road repairs go. But there's some other parts in town too that we want to hit. So anyway, let's celebrate that. Also, let the council know we got our 3 new police cars in. They're not fully furnished yet. They'll be sent probably next week over to Quanah, and they'll get those fully equipped. And so that is a huge need for our police department, because the Chargers, you see them go down the road and they look sharp, but they're starting to have lots and lots of problems. And we've really shot our budget because they spent so much money on getting them repaired. Anyway, actually, I did cut that budget about $5,000, because I don't think we should have very many repairs next fiscal year, because we got new trucks, and more dependable, and they won't be in the shops near as often, and hopefully not at all. Also, financially, through the month of July, the CD is performing well. We were about $278,000 in the black, so we generated more revenues than we spent. So we are moving in a positive track to finish out the year with a balanced budget. And Lorne might have some comments on dilapidated properties.
We have made progress at, the property owners at 501 North Powers and 801 North Tackett have both made progress on their junk and debris properties. Of course, Mr. Stevens was here last month, and that property has been completely remediated. So we're still in process with the condemnation on one property. We've got a couple of other properties in process for their junk and debris, and lots of notices have gone out. So I don't have a whole lot to report on. It's hot, and it's not the time that we tear down houses anyways, with the snakes and the hot maintainer and the bees, lots of bees. This is not the time to tear down a house. So we're sending notices, trying to get people to clean up their yards as much as they possibly can without us having to come in and remediate.
All right. Is that what are you? Is that all you got, Jeff?
Yes, sir. That's all my report.
Okay. We've got public hearings, number 4, concerning 801 North Cedar, a specific use permit request for 7 RVs, 5 covered, and 2 to be covered at a later date, and including an 8x8 laundry area. And you can speak both times. Is that right? If somebody wants to speak on it now, you can, and then later we're going to come back and as an action item to vote to do it or not do it. So anybody wants to speak on it now, they can. Yes, Steve, come on down and introduce yourself and speak right into that microphone. And I think if you push up on it, it'll turn it on.
I'm speaking for Karen, my wife, and she owns the property next to it. And we submitted a form that she was opposed to it, subject to a privacy fence, at least 6 foot minimum, being placed between her property from the alley up to the property line up front. And,
Hey, Steve, I'm sorry. Do you mind pulling that microphone out and speak right into it? Somebody was having trouble hearing you.
okay. We objected to it with the exception. We objected to it with the exception of a privacy fence being placed between her property and that property that's asking for the permit. It needs to be at least 6 foot minimum, and that's for the privacy of the house. It'll also work for the privacy of the park. And she's willing to do that, even though there's a risk of noise being a factor in the park. Some of the parks around town are kept up and some are not, but that's her only objection right now is she wants a privacy fence put up for our renters' protection and their privacy. And that fence is to be funded by the owner of that property and maintained by that property.
All right. Or is that just so I'm clear, I think I know what you're saying. You're not opposed as long as there is a sufficient solid privacy fence
That's
between Karen's or the house?
in the property asking for the permit.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's the exception.
Gotcha. Everybody got that? Steve, thank you. That's very good. Anybody else? I see Hunter Hendrick. Come on up, and if you'll do like Steve did, speak right into it.
Well, just to address that, that's actually required for me to do that on that place is to have a 6 foot privacy fence in between that house and my RV spot. So that will be done. So just wanted to reassure you. I will do it as soon as possible.
Thank you, Hunter. If I'm not mistaken, Lauren, that is a requirement that a solid fence be constructed between the property. Correct. Okay. Yes, ma'am. If you'll tell us who you are and tell us what you think.
Rebecca Golding. I don't live right there. I do own a house now down Custer. But this is, again, you're putting RV parks in the middle of neighborhoods. There's houses that people are living in that are in good condition on every side of that lot. Okay, it's a block off of California, but it's still right in the middle of a neighborhood. I don't think that's right, and I am totally against it, privacy fence or not. It's an RV park. It's a commercial thing. It should not be in the middle of residential homes.
Thank you, Ms. Golden. Okay. Anybody else? On number 4, 801 North Cedar. Number 5, concerning 408 North Browning, a specific use permit request for an RV to be used as a single residence. Would anybody like to speak on that at this point? Yes, ma'am.
Rebecca Golding again. We just drove by that property. I don't really have a problem if RV goes in there's a single residence. If you could make it temporary, like for 2 years or something, till they make plans for a mobile home or some kind of permanent structure. I don't want to put in any more of these in that are lifelong RV situations. I don't think that's good for the town.
All right. Thank you. Yeah. We have another gentleman. Come on in. Tell us who you are, if you will, if you want to.
Brian Baldwin. I'll address the single RV. We're planning on Peyton living there while we're fixing up the house. But we made it that way so that the resident's right next door.
Just go ahead and let him talk.
But then we will, the reason you do it this way is specific use. So if he does ever in the future want to rent it out while it's still there, because we're going to have to pay a few thousand to get the sewer hooked up, the water hooked up, the electricity hooked back up because it's not on that lot. So we're going to be in a little expense. And we are fixing up a house that is dilapidated, to be honest with you. It's not necessarily to the tear down stage, but it's not far off. I'll put it at that. But it'll be nice when we get done. It won't be an eyesore. You'll see later in the packets what it's potentially going to look like, what his does or did look like till we moved part of it this past week. But I think it won't be an eyesore in that spot.
Gotcha. He said it wasn't going to be an eyesore.
Yeah.
Wait. If anybody wants to speak, you need to be recognized, please. Thank you. You've already spoken on the issue. Ms. Golding, we're going to come back to it later and you can speak again. Okay. All right, let's go to the consent agenda. And Jeff, there was one I wanted to kind of talk about was number
Was it the Atmos? Is it?
yes.
Yeah, that would be number 9. And to do that, you would need, of course, a motion and a second to pull that off the.
Okay. Do I have a motion on that and a second to discuss that a little bit?
I make a motion that we pull the item number 9 off of the consent agenda for discussion in open session.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Thank you, Billy. No, all I wanted to say was I did a little research
Go
on
ahead
that and,
Mark, we need a vote if you don't mind. I'm sorry.
oh, I'm sorry. You're right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. Is the company or the group that negotiates that for 150 cities in our area on down to Central Texas. And the lady from Atmos was supposed to be here tonight, and for some reason she was not able to attend. And I was going to kind of razz her a little bit because, Atmos is a large company, and they've been the recommendation is to approve an increase. And I just wanted her to kind of explain a few things. She's not here tonight. And every town that I have run across they're doing the same thing tonight, or they've already done it, has approved it because these engineers, attorneys, whoever we have, this group that we have, that we're a part of, have apparently looked at the numbers and thinks it should be increased. But I know some of it's, you just look around town and there's a lot of it's Atmos that's putting in new lines and that kind of thing. So in my own mind, I'm thinking they're trying to recover their costs, and that's what a business does. But anyway, just wanted to make that clear. It's not something we're doing. It's something that typically they used to go to the legislature and or the railroad commission and get this done, and it was just almost automatic. But with the group that we're in now, the little research that I've done says it's a lot more arduous process before they get any kind of an increase. That's all I really want to say. Anybody else? Yes, sir. Come on down and talk to us a minute. Yes, sir. There you go.
My name's Eric. As a business owner, I understand there's operating expenses when you have a business. Putting in new lines is beneficial to your business. It should be your expense. Don't put that on me. the gas prices are already outrageously too high. And an approval of a rate increase would be detrimental to everybody in this town. They already pay way too much.
Thank you. Your name's Eric? Eric, thank you. Anybody else? All right, let's move forward. I need a motion on the rest of this to approve the consent agenda.
Marcus, did you pull that one off? You
Yes.
need to vote on that one specifically, and
Okay.
then you'll come back and do the rest of the
Okay,
consent.
let's do number 9. Do I have a motion to approve that? If so, we'll go forward with it separately.
Did y'all have any questions about that? Because y'all do understand that, the city and being part of the ACSC is that they negotiated a savings of about $30 million. And so by approving this, then we're part of a bigger consortium that will keep our rates lower. And so I joined this group about 4.5 years ago, and my whole motivation for doing that was to save taxpayers money. So we're not talking about a huge savings, but we are talking about every single person in the community saving some dollars on their monthly gas bill throughout the winter. So what you're voting for, again, is to support the negotiations that we lowered the overall amount.
Lower the increase.
Yeah,
Yes.
lower the increase. Thank you.
Yes.
They seemed perplexed, so I just want to make sure they were clear.
Gotcha.
So this is more or less an advocacy group for the smaller communities. And so are there communities in our region besides ours that are a part of it?
Just about all of them.
Yes, all of the state.
Stahl Falls is part of it.
Mhm.
Stanford's part of it. I ran across their meeting where they were going through this. So,
Okay.
yeah.
I make a motion that we approve the ordinance 2026-06 for the RRM rate review agreement for Atmos Energy.
Okay, we have a motion to approve number 9 as read by Ms. Kolochik. Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. It passes. We'll go on to the rest of the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to accept it?
I'll make a motion, we accept the consent agenda.
Okay, we have.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Did you get that, Lauren? Billy and Karen. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
It approved. All the opposed, the same. There is none. Okay. Action items. Discuss and take action to review and approve the proposed tax rate. That is, it stayed the same, did it not? The rate itself?
Well, let me just give a little background. Of course, we've had 2 long budget workshops, and through that process, the council felt like that going with the voter approval rate of 0.411263 would give us enough tax revenues to fund the city's expenses for the fiscal year, pending on some adjustments and different variables that may come about between now and the final budget.
Okay.
If you'll look on page 100,
Yeah, that's what I was.
it shows you a comparison as best could be provided. I'm still waiting on the current total value from appraisal district on the levy, but that gives you the 2025 adopted tax rate versus the proposed.
So Jeff, my understanding during the budget workshops was that we would not be increasing rates above what the voter approved. Is that correct?
Okay, yeah, let me clarify. So tonight, what we're actually going to do is to approve a proposed rate, which then that'll go in the paper. And then we'll have a public hearing, and then y'all will come back in September and actually approve the tax rate. Now, by approving the voter approval rate tonight, you can't increase that. Now, you could come back and decrease it. I mean, y'all might want to decide to come back and go with the no new revenue tax rate, and y'all can do that. So it doesn't bound you to anything lower. You just can't go any higher.
Right.
This is just to give the community notice for being transparent, so then they can come forward if there's any questions or concerns they want the council to address.
And the voter approved tax rate for 2026 is lower than the adopted tax rate from last year. Last year's adopted tax rate was 0.41175. The proposed voter approved tax rate is 0.411263.
Okay.
So,
That was the number I was looking for last year.
Sorry.
I thought it was the same, but it's slightly less. Okay.
And that will generate about additional $30,000 because the overall
The values have gone
up. Yeah.
Yes.
So I just want to make sure the community knew that.
Any discussion, anybody would like to come up and talk about that, or? Come on up.
All right, it's Kim again. So when you're talking about tax rates and raising them, exactly what is this like on our houses? Is this on the sales tax? What's it on?
Real estate,
Real estate.
ad valorem is
It's actually lowering it, not raising it. Okay.
the tax rate.
Okay.
You got to be careful saying that because
There you go.
the tax rate, the
Is that
rate is lower, but your overall taxes are going to go up because, and I can't say that specifically about your property, but if the value of your property went up, even at a lower tax
Oh,
rate,
yeah.
you may end up paying a little bit more.
The rate can go down some, but the appraised value, if your appraised value went
My
up,
value in the last 4 years has gone from $75,000 to $180,000 on my house. That's a lot of a tax difference. Now, I'm lucky because I'm homesteaded, and unfortunately, I have a disabled person in the family, so that does bring my taxes down. I just wanted to know exactly what you
Yes.
guys were talking about,
Yes.
whether, because you were talking
Yeah.
about the tax rate, what the voters had applied compared to what it was and things like that.
Yeah.
Because once again, like I said before, we're bleeding over here.
Mhm.
Anything you can do to help us, we would
Yes.
appreciate. And honestly, when you have a public hearing, you got 15 people for the city council meeting in here, and I know that you post it. I know you
Mhm.
tell everybody, but honestly, it's time to start for our council people and for other people to start getting out there and saying, come on, it's time to get off the computers. It's time to get off your tails. Get up here and let's talk. Because you guys are having to make decisions for 2,500 people, and that's hard to do. And we've got to find a way to fill this room and get people's opinions, not just one or two of us. I'll be honest, I ain't been up here in a while.
Yeah.
You know, I let life get away and things like that, and I used to be up here every month.
life
It does.
gets in the way. It gets in
But
the way.
once again, these are people, not numbers. So if you can,
You're right.
if you can do like you're talking about,
Yeah.
and put it at a lower rate, I'm
Yeah.
asking you to please do that.
Thank you, Kim. That's good. Okay, any more? Yeah, come on down.
I think I can speak for it out. How can you explain to me how my property value keeps increasing in a town of diminishing population?
The simplest way that I can address that is that we're not the tax office and we don't appraise your property. So the city actually has nothing to do with the appraised value of your property. But I do know that the state of Texas encourages the appraisal district to make assessments of the property. So we don't set any of your appraisal rates. Nobody here determines your value. That is all done at the at the appraisal office.
I understand the city doesn't do it, but I can't fathom how a property can go up in value when the demand is falling. It doesn't make any sense at all.
And I will say too, I think the state drives a lot of that as well because, Butler County did have at one point, but the state stepped in and says, if you don't get your values up to a certain point, then there's going to be, and I don't remember all the details of that threat, but the state pretty much forced our appraisal district to get our values to a certain point.
That's not legal.
Yeah. Yeah. I do, thank you for that. I do know that, or I'm told that the state over the process of about 3 years, well, government, right? Do we need government or not? We need government as limited as we can get it, in my opinion, but yeah. Thank you. There you go. All right. Where are we at?
Y'all need to
Proposed
decide on
tax
a proposed rate. Again, this is not the official tax rate.
Right.
This is just a proposed, and that's it.
Okay. It comes back in our next meeting.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If there's no more discussion, any more discussion up here or?
So I just like to rephrase for my benefit and for the people in the audience. Our intent during the discussion was because of the fact that we knew the property values were going up, our intent was to either keep it the same or lower it a little bit, not to go up. Although we do have avenues where we could have gone up if we had chosen to. So we are trying to be sensitive to the fact that we pay the same bills you do, and so we're trying to be sensitive to that fact. And I just wanted to let the audience know that was a lot of discussion during our budget
Yes.
sessions.
Thank you, Nancy. Any more discussion out here? Up here? If not, do I have a motion to accept the proposed rate? Or to approve the proposed tax rate, excuse me.
I make a motion that we approve the proposed tax rate,
The voter approval.
the voter approval tax rate,
Of 0.41.
0.411263.
0.411263. Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. Any more discussion out here? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same, and it passes. Number 17. Discuss, consider, and take action concerning increasing the base electric rate from 0.0482 to 0.0485 beginning fiscal year 26-27 for the purpose of an additional lineman for the department, the electric department. Discussion out here, discussion up here. Thank you, Kim. Anybody?
Mark, may I say a few words?
Beg your pardon?
Can I say a few words?
Sure, go ahead.
Test. So I just do feel compelled to, follow up with what we've talked about during our budget workshops. And this was something that's been requested, by our electric department supervisor for the last 2 or 3 years. And what a lot of people don't understand is that we take for granted when we flip that switch. And there's not a person in this room or in this state that always wants cheaper rates. And I understand that I'm one of them because I'm one of the cheapest guys that there are. However, when it's 20 degrees outside or if it's 110 or the wind's blowing 60 miles an hour and you have only 2 or 3 guys in your department and everybody's blowing up Facebook and complaining because they don't have electricity for 10 or 15 minutes. And these guys are up there in buckets 30 feet in the air, putting themselves in compromising situations. And something they're highly committed to. They really are. And it takes a special person to do what they do. However, when they only have 2 or 3 people, they are limited sometimes as to what they can accomplish because of that limitation. And, by giving them a 4th lineman, and I'm really proud of our electric department. They have been very progressive. They have been very proactive at replacing poles. They have really made some great improvements to our electrical infrastructure. And that is something our mayor has wanted us to make as a priority. And I think that we've risen to that challenge, and I think we've done a great job of that. So, what the council talked about, again, after 2 long budget workshops, that they feel like that is something that we need to look at. And so, tonight, again, if y'all, vote on this, it doesn't go into effect. There's still going to be some public hearings and some other discussions that will occur before you make, your final decision on what's best for our community. So this point 003 does increase a little bit, and it's not a huge raise, but I do understand too that it is more money, and the larger your electric bill, of course, the more it will be, the more kilowatts that you do use. So, but if you don't, there's always consequences to every decision we make. Yeah. So if we don't, that's going to impact the culture of our electric department. It's going to limit what they can do. It's going to be a further compromise on our electrical infrastructure that may, at some point, may end up causing more outages and, other unpredictable situations that, right now, when we're talking about it, it's not that important. But, when you don't have electricity, and let's say it's 110 degrees for about 3 or 4 days and people are dying, that really changes what's important and what's not important. And Mayor and I've talked about that before. Money's really not an option sometimes when people are dying or when you have a critical situation. And so that's what we're trying to alleviate by being proactive and giving them the resources and the support they need so that they can support our community and making sure that they have electricity.
Well, let me just kind of add on to that. The electric department did ask for this last year, and we did not do it. And we've had a resignation. We're a town with, and I was talking to Dr. Brazier about this the other day, with the workers in town for the wind farm and the solar and all the construction things in the area. We may have an extra couple of 100 people in town. And so we think of Seymour as a little town. We're close to probably 3,000 people right now in this little town, living in various places around here. And I saw Mr. Chase Hoyt, our water supervisor, come in and made me think that they had somebody absent. They had a 3-man department. Chase came out, and you got to have somebody in the air, on the ground, in the truck, hopefully. And he worked on the ground. He's a water guy, but that's kind of the cooperation and the culture that we've got within the city. And we're down to 2 people in our electric department right now. If we'd had the 4th person, if we had done it last year, maybe we should have done it last year, we'd be down to 3. But anyway, it's not good with 2 people. And so if we had the 4th, it gives us some backup. So I concur with Dr. Brazier. When it's cold and it's hot, I want my electricity on. And for a fairly small increase, hopefully we can continue to maintain that. Any more discussion up here, or welcome any out here too? Okay. Let's see, that is number 17. Do I have a motion on that?
I move that the city council approve an increase of 0.003 per kilowatt hour to fund the addition of an extra lineman to make 4 This would be in effect for 26, 27 fiscal year. And so that would result in a charge of from 0.1430 on the residential to 0.1460 per kilowatt hour. And then on the commercial, it would be 0.0536 to 0.0566 per kilowatt hour.
I might also add that,
Did I say it wrong?
Well, I think that, I think the only thing that we were really asking for is a 0.003 increase on your energy charge. And that will then base rate. Yeah.
we're just talking about the base rate.
Which
So-
that will increase your
so-
overall rate, but it's just that base rate of 0.003.
So the clarification is that we're talking about the base rate, not the overall rate.
Correct. Yes. Perfect. I might also add that I was visiting with Dr. Brazier a little bit, I don't know if it's yesterday or today, and we're going to do a serious, if we can come in under this, to make this official, it has to be in an ordinance. Is that right, Ms. Bush? So between now and the next meeting, we're going to work to see if we can get this down further. So hopefully we can report something back where it wouldn't be this much. It's not much anyway, but it's kind of like Kim was talking about. Anything, depending on where you're at, is could be a hardship. So anyway, we promise to work on that and see if we can get it down even further. Okay. Did you make that motion?
Do you have what we need, Lauren?
I have the motion to approve an increase of 0.003 to the base rate to fund an additional lineman.
Okay. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
You have any more discussion out here? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. It passes. Number 18, discuss, consider, and take action concerning bids for a new aerator for the wastewater treatment plant. I think we got a bid. Did we get a bid today?
We did, and I asked Supervisor Chase Hoyt if he wants to come up and talk a little bit about that. He's our expert, but we did get one from Environmental Improvements, and probably Chase needs to talk about that a little bit more. But it was a $39,500. I've got that there on your desk, and I believe there was a $8,000 adder for all stainless steel aerator. I'm not sure what that's about. Chase will have to explain that one. And then there was the $2,500 for freight and $1,500 for startup and warranty certification for a total price of $47,500. But Chase, you want to break that down and talk to him about it?
We have 3 rotors. We just call them rotors. If you've been out to the wastewater plant, it's a racetrack, is what we call it. And we've got 3 rotors on that racetrack. And when one goes down, it's hot outside. We have the chance of losing oxygen in that ditch, and that can kill the bugs. It's really just makes the piece of plant stinking, turn it over. It could be a big issue, but the real big issue is we're replacing bearings on these motors. They're like 16 to 18 foot long shafts that run across the ditch, and they're constantly turning all day, all night, all day, all night. And we're having to replace these bearings. Well, these bearings have went up considerably. I mean, when I first started, they were, I think, 3,000 a piece, and then now they're up to 6 to 8,000. Depends on which side it is. And there's 6 bearings total out there. There's two per rotor. And so not only is it extremely expensive to be replacing these every 6 months to a year, we are spending nearly all day out there, 3 to 4 to 5 guys replacing these bearings. It's not an easy thing. You know, they're covered in what you'd imagine they're covered in. And then we're having to call a welder, you know, come out and refit the shaft, because every time that the bearing goes out, it's wallering out that shaft, and it's a whole thing, I promise. And so I called an engineer, and she gave me a few numbers on who to talk to about just different options. You know, do we need a whole new shaft just so worn out, ruining the bearings too early. It's, 20 years ago, this wasn't happening, now it is. And so we got, I talked to that guy and he said, replacing that whole new shaft, I mean, it's a 4-inch solid steel shaft and it's, got all those pedals on it. And he said, you're looking at more, a little over double than what we're talking about right now. And so he said, another option is floating, a floating rotor. So instead of it being fixed, sitting there fixed, this is something that's sitting in there like a pontoon. And it's going to go up and down the turn. So it's not sitting there fixed on the shaft. So long story short, we're hoping that we can save money in replacing this. And I mean, I'd say probably within 4 or 5 years, we would make up the cost of buying new bearings every year to replace the bearings on each side. So I've never used this. I've watched videos on it. It seems like it's legit. If we get 5 years out of it, we've already saved money. That's just how I'm looking at it. Hopefully we get 15 to 20, of course. Yes, there's gonna be things that we're gonna have to replace on it. That's just gonna happen. The stainless steel add-on that we were talking about, the blades that are turning the water and keeping it oxygenated is, I just think that if we're gonna spend 40,000 on it, let's spend another 8 and get something that's not gonna rust out in 5 years, and we're gonna have to replace it.
Plus,
That thing's like 5,000 pounds, so we're gonna have to lift it out, replace the blades on it. I'm hoping it'll last so long. The next guy that is here is, thank God they put stainless steel blades on this. That's what I'm hoping will happen. So.
and the manpower, if it takes 3, 4, 5 people to out there for a day or most of a day, then that's considered too.
It does seem like every time that we are fixing a bearing, when we finish, there is a major water leak in town. It seems like we're about to go home and somebody calls and says something blew out. I think it'd be a little more peace of mind for Greg out there. He wasn't gonna be here today, but he's not feeling too great. He would have come up here and talked too, but peace of mind for Greg would be good for all of us. He really cares about that plant, and I think he would really appreciate something being done. We haven't spent any money out there.
You're talking about Greg Shoemate, who is the operator and has been out there, I don't know how many years.
I think he's coming up on 30 total.
Okay.
He had my job.
Yes.
He's done most of it.
He's been here before. He's pretty passionate about that out there. So, but that's who he's referring to when he says Greg. So, Jeff, give us that number again, would you? A total number.
Yes, sir. That number is $47,500 if you add up all the fees and the stainless steel aerator.
37.8 plus that 37.5. Okay. 37.5, 47.5. Okay. Did y'all get that number? Chase, also want to thank you for coming out in the winter and helping the electric department. I just had to say that every time I see you, I think of that, and you're on the ground. Like, well, I mean, I'm just saying. Yes. 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 Yeah. Yeah. We're 2 down, but I appreciate your willingness to do it. So anyway, it's kind of unseen many times. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chase.
Any more? Thank you, Jay. Any more discussion up here? Do I have a motion? On number 18. Discuss, consider, take action concerning bids for a new aerator for the wastewater treatment plant.
This coming out of this year's budget for this?
Is this this year's budget or next year's, Jeff?
Depends on when we get it. So they'll get it ordered and we'll take, it just depends on when we get it. So we could probably find the money out of this year's budget. If we need to, we'll do it next year.
If,
So
if we've got money in this year's budget, it could come out of this year's budget.
yes,
Okay.
correct.
Well, Mayor, I make a motion that we accept this bid from Environmental Improvements for a new aerator for the wastewater treatment plant.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a second. Any more discussion out here or up here? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Okay. I want the sewer plant to work. I'll just say that. Discuss, consider, and take action concerning 801 North Cedar, specific use permit request for 7 RVs, 5 covered and 2 to be covered at a later date, and including an 8x8 laundry area.
Okay, so you should have in your packets the responses from the property owners on page 125. Okay. We received 2 yeses, 0 nos, 2 no opinions. We had 3 no responses, meaning that I had no confirmation that they received any of their mail, regular snail mail or certified. And then we had 2 that returned back to us completely. So I knew that they were not received. So you can see all the people that were contacted. And, oh, that's not true. I got an extra one in today. Hold on. I got 2 in today, actually. Another yes from Little Love's Daycare and a no opinion from Daniel Miller. And a no opinion is just like it sounds. They have, either way. So it's not a no. It's just, I don't
So
care.
how many no's and how many yeses?
0 no's and 3 yeses.
This is 801 North Cedar.
No, this is 408. Are we on 801? I'm so sorry.
It's in our
We're
tablet.
we're on 801 North Cedar.
It's in our tablet backwards too. It's on 131.
I've got it backwards in the packet. That's how I missed it. I apologize. Okay. On 801, we have, I got, let's see, make sure I've got her listed in here correctly. Where is she? Yes, we had 4 no's, 2 yeses, 2 no opinions. I had 2 no responses. They received it but did not respond, and 3 no received. So 4 no's, 2 yeses, 2 no opinions.
Okay.
You should have. I did receive a letter from Miss Christian with hers where she was requesting the fencing, which is required in the new RV ordinance that you just passed in the last several months. We should have, I'm sorry, I believe there should be, did I say 4? Yes, 4. Okay. Sorry, I thought I was missing one, but I wasn't.
4 no's, 2 yeses.
So was there any indication as to the reason for the no's?
Yes, the neighbors directly next door specifically sent me a letter. It says, I'm opposing the rezoning of 801 North Cedar for an RV park as I want to protect the privacy of 809 North Cedar. This is from Karen. I also had this is the request for the fence to be installed. I thought I had another letter. I did speak with the owner. I didn't want to speak for her if I thought I had a letter in her, but she did not provide me with documentation. So the property owner just to the south of the property is very much opposed. She would not have a fence, so it would be visible from her yard. She's concerned about the traffic. She has children, that sort of thing. She was very vocal when she came in and gave me her no. I thought she had a letter attached, but there is not one.
Okay.
I will say that your no's are directly across the street, directly west, and directly southwest. So you have south, southwest, and west. Those properties were the ones that were going to be exposed to the interior the most.
I will just, like I say, I don't get a vote on this. Mr. Hendrick has oh, you can come up and talk if you want to. I was just going to say, you've got a really nice park north of there, and you do a good job putting those up. I tend to kind of come with the neighborhood. Does it change the composure of the neighborhood? And this does to me, but what you've put up is, I mean, it's good. You know, I mean, it seems to comply with everything. It's clean. It looks quiet. I've driven by at night and it seems good. But again, go ahead, whatever you want to say.
Well, I'd like to say, I'm pretty hard on my tenants where, they follow city curfew. If you are out of line, if you're disturbing the neighbors, you're out. I don't put up with that because I live in this town too. I want it to be good, and these are good people. I don't care what.
Anybody else? What about up here? Any more discussion? Do we have a motion? Or if there's no motion, then it just kind of drops to the side for now, but say again.
The permit needs to be approved or denied. It needs to have a finality to it. You either approve it the way it's written, approve it with,
Well,
what do you call it? Modifications, or you deny it.
it can't die for lack of a motion.
Well, that's the same thing as denying it
Okay.
to some degree. I would say that for the person who is interested in putting an investment on it, it would be better for them to have a definitive answer. And I think it would be better for y'all as well. But if you choose to let it die for a lack of motion, that's perfectly fine. That's up to you. But we do usually, because it's a permit request, I've asked before historically to either approve or deny it.
Is there a motion?
I have questions looking at the map that was submitted from Lauren with the drawings of the RVs on there and the covered parking. What is the footage from the end of where the RVs would be to the end of the covered parking, how deep is that covered parking? Because I'm assuming that with there being 7 RV spots on this proposal, that there's going to be 7 pickups that are also parked in that area. And I feel like that's going to take up a lot of space. So are there anything, is there going to be anything else in that area for these people? Any picnic tables, any other places like for grills or anything like that for when they're cooking outside? What is the plan for the rest of the area? Because when I drove by it and looked at it, it looks like a very small area for 7 RV spots.
Can you come and address that to the, so if you look at your map, which is kind of sideways in the way it got scanned, they are 35 foot, and you don't have your map in front of you, so I'm just going to read what you had written off. They're 35 foot deep in the sheds, are 35 foot deep. Each of those shedded areas are given 20-foot width in between, like 23. And then the RV3 is got a 25 foot. It's a little bit bigger at the furthest west side of the property. But please do, if you want to address anything, and speak into the mic so that everyone can hear you.
So do you have any restrictions on how many vehicles per unit can be? Okay. Okay.
So the only thing that I see that might possibly cause an issue with the parking is that your ordinance requires you to have a 25-foot driveway, which we sort of kind of mapped through there, but that parking is going to be in that driveway. So the only change to the map may be that that driveway has to come closer to the road.
Mhm. So if you have 3 guys that are living in the same place, what does the third one do with their vehicle? Sure. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or Hunter, are
I-
you putting a fence along the alley too? Okay.
It'll be along the alley, just on the alley and on next to the kitchens.
On the north side there.
Wait, you have to come, wait, no. Are you through, Hunter, or? Okay.
I-
Will you come back? Y'all still have a question for Hunter?
I just have.
All right,
something
wait
else
just,
to
wait just a
discuss
minute, Kim. They're not quite
necessarily.
through. Go ahead.
So one other concern I have, this being in a very popular residential area, a busy area, I feel like. Um, you're saying 2 cars per parking space, that's 14 cars, vehicles, that will now take up space on what would typically be one house with 2 or 3 vehicles. So now we're adding at least 11 other vehicles that are going to come and go in this area, more traffic in this area. So I'm just throwing this out there for discussion if anyone has anything they would like to say about that.
They're not hopping around there, they're not driving up and down the streets, they're coming in and out, just like one of them. And if they are hopping, they're not hopping.
There is a possibility to maybe add additional screening. Now, it doesn't have to be a fence, according to your ordinance, it doesn't have to be a fence. But there is the majority of the lot on West Cora leading to the corner of Cedar, and then like maybe another 20 feet into, if you call that drive in there, where vegetation, bushes, trees, or a fence could be placed in that area and block the interior a little bit more from the residential district and maybe make it more attractive.
I have another question. You're talking about y'all were talking about the parking here, RV3 and RV2. How you gonna park right there? Cause you got. If you're parking here and parking there, you can't park right there in that corner. Oh, got you.
Yeah, see, all this is, outside of that limit, that's the rest of the place out here outside of there.
Okay,
That's what I'm saying, that's extra there.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah. You cleared that up for me too. I was looking at that and going, how's that? Yeah.
There is spots over there for parking. That's out of the way. I had to put fence around that corner there to make it more appealing and all that. I mean, sure, I'd be willing to do that, make it where it's, install parking or push that.
I kind of think for the people that like to the south of you and southwest and all them, if there was a fence there, that may help to ease their issues with that. Even if, if you come down.
So Billy, are you talking about along Foley and then a portion of West Cora to cover like along the RV1 spot?
Yeah, running east and west along RV1.
Yes.
Yes.
The lady across the street south, will there be any fencing between that and her house? Is that the one? That's what you're talking about. Okay. Yeah. Her place is there, right?
No, I mean,
Wait,
the
I'm
only,
sorry.
the only
I'm
house
sorry.
is here and the Christians is back here.
Right.
This is street.
Right.
Right
Gotcha.
here, and this is an alley right here.
Gotcha.
I'm planning to fence this and this per
Gotcha.
regulation. And
Yes.
then if I had to fence this corner here to make it more closed off parking, I would do that. If this,
Which
if that
that's-
gets this to
Yeah.
be able to be approved.
That's Cedar, and then you would come up here somewhat. along the
Yes,
corner.
yeah,
Gotcha.
as much as I could to make it
I got you.
more appealing and block more. Right,
Yeah.
I do have to have some room. be
To
able fence
pull
it.
in and out and that kind of thing. Yeah.
So I'm just talking like here, just along this, just this way, so it would kind of block
Right.
some of this.
Yeah. The lady that's across the street is like, I think right there. I can't think of her name, but I know who she is. All right. Any more, Kim? Come on up. Thank you, Hunter.
My question to you is, seeing what comes with spray flooding, tornadoes, things like that, we're getting more RV parks. We've obviously got this one, we've got another one. Do you have any plans, or will you put any plans to let these people know where to go, this kind of weather pursuit, or any kind of safety measures for that, because that is a question Single Health Advance gets asked quite often when there's storms and stuff. Where can I go, where can we be safe? So do you have any plans for that? Because if we're getting one, so we take it.
I am working on something and working on some designs to be able to bring to the city to show them where we can make something where it's a mass shelter, where people could actually go in there and have clean food.
That's, I was just
For
curious.
units.
Yeah, no, that's,
We really need to consider that.
we've been talking with the county about a community shelter because I get that question a lot too. And, we're looking for grants and anything we can find to make something like that work. Thank you, Kim. Anybody, anything else for Hunter right now?
The only other thing I feel like I have to add is that your 2 yeses, I think that it needs to be said out loud.
Excuse me, 2 yeses.
Your 2 yeses are your applicant and your commercial property on California. So there you did not, and this is not to sway you one way or the other. I just think you have to realize that you did not get a yes from anybody that resides in that area. And anyways, I feel like I would not be representing them well if I didn't specify that.
Okay. Any more questions out here? Hunter, you've had the floor. Thank you. If not, do we have a motion? If we don't get a motion, we're just gonna fail for lack of a motion. I know Lauren doesn't like that. I'm just messing with you, but it does fail if it doesn't. Right. Going once, twice. There's no motion. So it's, I guess it's not a, I don't know. I guess you could bring it back later if you wanted to, but at this point, 4 no's, 2 yeses, it is, and I think the neighborhood, the way it's configured at this point, is the way I'm seeing it. But let's move on to number 20. We could have moved this up earlier and y'all could have gone home, I guess, but sorry, that's on me. Number 20, discuss, consider, and take action concerning 408 North Browning specific use permit request for an RV to be used as a single residence.
All right, we are going back to page 125, back in the order. We did receive another yes letter in today from Little Love's Daycare. We got a no opinion from Daniel Miller. So that actually takes your yeses up to 3, your no's are 0, your no opinions are 3, your no responses are 3, your no received are 2.
Okay.
Your yeses are located directly next door to the home they're remodeling to the south, directly across the street to the north. And where's the other one at? Yes. Oh, and then the applicant.
Okay. So you're saying no, there were no no's.
There were no no's.
Okay. I've driven by it.
And if you go through your packet pages, the application is there, and you can see the site plan and the images provided.
And questions if they got them. Yeah, I did talk to the daycare. She was no opinion. I talked to Adrena. She was fine with it. And I have basically no other neighbors except the one to the south, and that was the yes.
Brian, will you briefly explain to us again what your plan is, like for the next 2 years? You're remodeling the house, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, he wants to live in that house while we remodel the one beside it. And there hasn't been anything on that property since 1982, I believe. And then there is a storm shelter. So that's taken care of. But I'll
I
answer.
didn't understand you earlier when you said there might be a plan for the future of,
Well, if, you know, if somebody's needing a place to stay, you know, if it's there, I kind of hate to, because it's a remodeled 1982 Avion travel trailer that we spent a whole year redoing.
Mhm.
It's a very nice trailer. It's, I'm not going to say it's old, but we'll just leave it at that. Retro, how about that? So, you know, that opportunity does present itself, you know, but you have to do it this way. You can't just say it's a house.
Mhm.
You know, you have to do it as, since we've got so many RVs now, this is the route you have to take.
Is the specific use permit for a specific period of time, or is it just until the use
So
changes?
the specific use permit is specific to the person you issue it to. So if the Baldwins chose to sell the property, the permit ceases to be attached, and the new owner would have to reapply for that permit or whatever permit they may want. The permit itself does not have any time restrictions on it unless you place those time restrictions on it, but it is applicant specific.
And the sewer's only going to be for one, electric's only going to be for one, and the water's only going to be for one. There's no potential for more than one.
Well,
And as we've discussed in previous meetings, they would still be held to the ordinances of keeping the lot clean and no trash and debris and things like that.
Yes, I gave you a copy of that RV ordinance when he got his application, so he's aware of approved surfacing and all of that fun stuff.
so if the council wanted to do this, would you say limited to one, like you were saying, it's set up for one only? Could you limit it
What
to?
that
Oh, yeah.
that permit
that'd be fine.
request is for a single RV
Yes.
hookup to be used as a residence.
What about y'all?
so, I'm a little hung up on what happens after this. So, would you be willing to come back to the council after your construction is complete to let us know what your plans are? That way we could just issue another type of permit
Or we wouldn't
I
have,
don't know.
yeah,
It wouldn't
it'd be
have to.
specific to that property.
Let's say that the RV gets turned into a hair salon. That's a completely different deal than a single family resident, or essentially it's a residence. And so if the use changes, then we would need to revisit a variance on the application or reapplying because the use has changed so much that it's no longer applicable. But as it stands, it is not resident specific. So it's not as long as Peyton lives in there and only Peyton and nobody but Peyton. It is allowing for the property itself to be used as with one RV, one hookup as a residence. So it could be Peyton, or it could be one of their daughters, or it could be me, it could be, but
So
it's
if-
just one person.
So
You know what I'm
if
saying?
we restricted it to a 2-year time frame, that in effect would have the same thing. I mean, if you wanted to extend it, that would have the same effect, wouldn't it?
He would come back in 2 years and
But I wouldn't want to pay the $200 permit fee to have to go through all this all over again.
that's a
I'd-
point.
So, that is up to you. You have it within your power to put time limits on it. I will say that that's not historically what you've done before. I don't personally see the need for it. If you were permitting 15 and you were concerned that, maybe in 3 years it would be out of compliance, or there's too many things built into that ordinance that would prevent it from getting out of compliance and then being unruly, because they're under the same RV ordinance as anybody with a larger park. If the park isn't maintained the way it's supposed to be, if it's not on an approved surface, if et cetera is not all done, then he doesn't get his permit reissued for the RV portion of it in January. So even though it's not a commercial park, it still falls under the RV ordinance. And I don't
Okay.
I don't personally see. Now, I will add, because he is the property owner on the south side of that property, which is the only adjoining property. Was there a fence built into so there's not a fence built into the permit application because he's the property owner to the south. However, the RV ordinance requires that. So I would say if you wanted to issue him a permit, that would be one of those things that you could, finagle, whether or not you want to require him to have a fence or say, no, not required because he's the property owner to the south. The passing thing would be, if he ever sold it, then that person would have to come under the RV ordinance and with their permit, et cetera. See what I'm saying? So that variance would be use specific.
Yeah, and the properties are set up kind of, not necessarily funny, but there is a storage in between the two properties that already separates them.
Isn't that where the storm shelter is in between the two
Storm
properties?
shelter and that,
Yeah.
the storage facilities there. And there's a slab already back there as well.
So anyways, but I
Well-
would say there's discussion that could
I
be
don't
had
think
in
those
that.
two properties have ever been separated. I know separate people have lived on it, but it was family.
Well, everybody's got to comply with whatever the ordinance says. And I know Brian will do that, whatever it is, if this is approved. But,
I would say though, I would include it in your motion, whether or not you want to give him the variance on the fence, because 10 years from now, it's all set up and we're all dead and gone or something. And someone's going to want to know whether or not he has a variance. So if we record it in the minutes, it says the variance was gifted or permitted, then he doesn't have to deal with someone trying to come up with that.
were you planning on putting a fence up or?
No, because the building's there. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a building and a storage and everything's in between.
And
And it
you,
really kind of doesn't really defeat the purpose of why we're wanting one there, because he's going to be living and working on the house.
right,
So we're going to be going in between there all the time.
the house next door.
Yes,
I got you. Okay.
yes.
I'd like to make a motion. Make a motion that we accept the specific use permit request for 408 North Browning to be used as an RV as a single residence, to include a variation in the permit that the owner does not have to provide a fence around the property due to them owning all three properties together.
Did you get that, Lauren? Did y'all hear that? Is there any discussion on that? Anybody want to weigh in on that? We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Billy has seconded it. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That's 3 ayes. Any opposed? No, it is approved. Let's get action regarding executive session. We met, executive session starts at 6. It's closed. And I don't know if that's how they want that said, but anyway.
Yes, we're talking specifically about action regarding executive session number 21, purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real estate. And then I would just recommend that y'all just say, based on what was discussed in closed session, or decision that was made in closed session.
Just to be clear on that, we're not trying to be not transparent. Anything in closed session regarding legal matters or real estate can be held in closed session and for obvious reasons. But go ahead, Karen.
I make a motion that we move forward with the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real estate that was discussed in the closed session prior to this open meeting.
Okay, any discussion up here, out there? Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's no. I think we're going to entertain a motion to adjourn. I
Mayor,
appreciate.
Can I make a motion with adjourn?
Okay, I'm not going to get to talk. We've got a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
We've got a second from Karen. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Appreciate y'all coming.